Господин амбасадоре, ви благодарам што прифативте интервју за МИА. Во Скопје престојувате поради учество на Министерската конференција за одржливо управување со миграциите во регионот на Западен Балкан. Која е целта на оваа конференција и што им пренесовте на учесниците на собирот?
The Skopje conference aims at, sustainable migration management, and I'm participating in this because the countries in the region and the countries of the European Union and also other countries have to work much closer together in order to get a good grip on irregular migration. We see numbers going up, and we need all countries in the region to take full responsibility. We need much more regional cooperation, and we need much more pooling of knowledge and capacity among the countries in the region, but also with countries of the European Union. And I was here to help to share our perspective and see how we could help.
Последниве месеци полицијата во земјава, но и во соседните држави, се почесто приведува групи на мигранти. Дали повторно се активира Балканската рута, која што беше активна за време на војната во Сирија 2015-2016 година, кога во време на кулминацијата имавме околу 90.000 мигранти кои што промина низ оваа територија?
I believe so. I mean, irregular migration is increasing again through different routes, but certainly also the Balkan route is definitely going up. If we look at data from Frontex, the number of arrivals seems to have more or less doubled in comparison to last year, and in many ways we're close now to 2015, 2016 levels. So this conference is coming at the right time.
За разлика од периодот 2015-16 година, кога најголемиот број од мигрантите беа од Сирија, во последниве месеци се бележи се поголем број на бегалци од Авганистан. Дали во наредниот период би можеле да очекуваме зголемен прилив на бегалци од Авганистан со оглед на тоа што во земјата на власт е талибанскиот режим?
I mean, if I look at the numbers, you still see that it's a very mixed flow. There's still lots of Syrians, but indeed also Afghans, Pakistanis, Indians, Bangladeshis, a lot of everything really. And yes, Afghans are a part of that group, but they are not dominant. We don't expect them to be dominant anytime soon, but we better be expected for everything. And this is why we needed extra cooperation to make sure we work upstream, that we work together, and we work downstream to make sure we get the best possible grip on migration.
Интересно е што на територијата на Северна Македонија најголем број од мигрантите пристигнуваат токму од Европската Унија, односно попрецизно од Грција. Како го коментирате тоа?
Well, that's geography, and in many ways I think it underscores the point I made earlier about cooperation. Cooperation in the region, whether you're EU or not EU, you need to cooperate closely with your neighbors. I understand that also between North Macedonia and Greece, police cooperation has really increased since the 2017 agreement. Lots more has to be done. I think that's true for pretty much every country in the region, but it only underscores the importance of doing this together. No country can do this alone.
На нашата јужна граница се распоредени силите на Frontex, зашто минатиот месец беше потпишан и договор помеѓу Северна Македонија и Европската Унија. Како ја оценувате успешноста на мисијата на Frontex во нашата земја?
Well, I think first of all that the signature of the Frontex agreement was a great event, and I have to congratulate you for it. And I think the full deployment of Frontex in Northern Macedonia will first of all help guard the borders in the best possible way, but it will also increase transfer of knowledge, capacity, etc. between Northern Macedonia and other European countries within and without the region.
Покрај Балканската рута, во изминативе месеци, посебно по периодот на COVID пандемијата, се повеќе мигранти се појавуваат и на така наречените западно-медитеранска и централно-медитеранска рута. На што се должи ваквата појава?
Well, exactly. I mean, part of that, of course, is a bit of a catch-up after the pandemic, which had basically frozen international mobility in many ways for almost 2 years. So there is an element of catch-up, but there is also simply more irregular migration going on worldwide and through all the routes. And if you look at the root causes of irregular migration, there's many. You know, there's war, there's prosecution, There's climate change. There is social economic perspectives. Usually it's a combination of all those factors that make people want to move. And constantly the patterns are shifting. Some routes become bigger. If you manage to get more control here, people may start shifting in another direction. And that is why we really have to cooperate internationally to make sure that we keep up with those ever-changing movements.
Оваа година имаме зголемен прилив и на бегалци од Украина како последица на руската инвазија врз оваа земја. Колкава е моментално бројката на бегалци од Украина во Европската Унија?
I don't have the exact number because they're coming in, they're coming out. I think it's well over 6 million in the European Union. We in the Netherlands have well over 80,000 Ukrainian refugees registered at this moment. The overall number will be bigger because also there's people staying with families and in more informal settings. So it is a big group. Strictly speaking, in the Netherlands, they're not asylum seekers. For them, we have a special arrangement. But of course, they are also using capacity that would otherwise have been available for other refugees. So they are definitely part of the burden that we are dealing with. But we are happy to do this to help our Ukrainian friends in these hard times.
Покрај бегалците од Украина, се почесто имаме случаи на лица кои бегаат од Русија со цел да избегнат регрутацијата во руската армија. Каков е нивниот статус во рамките на Европската Унија?
Well, there I can only give you a very formal answer. Every person has the right in the Netherlands and throughout the European Union to request access to an asylum procedure, to request asylum. This does not mean that you have the right to asylum. This will be determined by the migration services, by the minister, and eventually by the courts. So there we will just have to see.
Господине амбасадоре, ви благодарам за интервјуто.
Thank you very much.